Hi, Peter, PMC Knives and Tools. How's it going? So today I'm going to have a look at this Milwaukee Hardline flipper pocket knife. Now this is one that I picked up a few weeks ago that I've been testing extensively, which is why it's taken me a little while to get the video out, because I wanted to make sure that I was having a really good look at it and a real good use of it. Now this one is in D2 steel. Now D2 steel is a pretty common pocket knife steel nowadays. It used to be an industrial steel that was used for things like factory cutting equipment, die cutting, that sort of thing. So it's quite a hard steel. Now this particular model, I think these Milwaukee branded pocket knives aren't made in the US by Milwaukee. They're made in the Far East by a Chinese factory. And I think their heat treatment must be very, very good, because this particular instance of D2 steel is extremely hard. The grind from the factory was a little uneven on the edges. You know, the two sides didn't marry up perfectly, and the point wasn't, you see there, it's not exactly matching. So I used it extensively with the factory edge. A lot of sort of hard general use, a lot of recycling, a lot of cardboard, stuff like that. And it did dull, but it wasn't perfect to begin with. I mean, the factory edge was mediocre, I should say that out loud, from the get-go. So I sharpened it, or attempted to sharpen it with my usual method, which is a leather strop. It didn't really do much. So I moved to my other more common method that I like, which is a ceramic rod. It's 14-inch ceramic rod. And that did work, but it took a lot. I mean, I was at it for at least 20 minutes solid. Hands were aching by the time I was done. I didn't want to break out the whetstones. Nowadays, I'll be honest, I don't use my whetstones very often. I do find them a little bit laborious. The process was great to learn, and it took me a long time to kind of get good at it, and it's a great skill, but it kills my hands. You know, I'm a builder, so my hands are already getting a lot of abuse on a day-to-day basis at work, so I get a lot of joint pains and things, and I really can't be bothered spending forever on a whetstone. So I usually use either my electric sharpener, my ceramic rod, kitchen butcher steel, my Victorinox diamond rod is great, or one of my two leather strops. I will even occasionally use a pull-through carbide sharpener. Don't tell the YouTube knife snobs, I'll be thrown out of the YouTube knife snob groups. So I do own a lot of whetstones, and I also own a full sharpening system as well, which I do use from time to time, because that's not too hard on the hands. That's a Far Eastern sort of landscape style one. So anyway, I used the ceramic rod on this edge for 20 minutes solid, just following the existing grind, the existing blade edge shape, and it did come up well. It's now at, I wouldn't say shaving sharp, I mean it does take a bit of hair off, but I would say daily use, general use pocket knife sharp. It's quite a thick blade spine, which I quite like for a kind of multi-purpose general use dedicated pocket knife. The build quality is very, very good. It's quite heavy. It's got a nice chunky red backspacer there, which has a nice bit of detail. Tip up pocket clip. All my other Milwaukee pocket knives are tipped down, which I don't like, so I'm glad this is a tip up, and it's reverse blade as well. You can pick either side. Lanyard hold 2, I'm not going to bother with the lanyard hold on this one. Frame lock, which is nice and strong. Now, I don't usually love a frame lock, I prefer a liner lock, but a frame lock is stronger, and this is quite a heavy duty, well built, strong knife, so I like that. And a bit of jimping there, which isn't too aggressive. It feels quite comfortable in the thumb. Ergonomics are great, fits my hand perfectly. I wear a size medium glove, so it fits really, really well. Flipper mechanism from the box was pretty good, and I've used it a lot, so it's nicely broken in now and deploys really, really quickly. No concerns there. The frame lock was probably the stiffest part when I first opened it, so I've had to use it quite a lot to loosen off the frame lock sufficiently to be able to open and close it one-handed without too much drama. Generally, thoughts on the Milwaukee Hardline flipper knife. I think it's the model 1994 from memory. My general thoughts are very, very good. Love it, actually. It's one of my favourite pocket knives at the moment. That changes all the time because I've got so many, but at the moment it's one of my absolute favourites and it's been getting a lot of use. Stainless steel construction, which is a blackened and pre-worn finish on the blade and framework side, and fiberglass reinforced nylon on this side. So nice and grippy and texture. Really, really excellent. Good value for money. I think it was about £40 from memory. So there you go. Highly recommend it. They do come in there's one model slightly bigger. This is the 3-inch blade model. There's a 3.5-inch blade model or something like that, which would be too big for me. And they do a smaller one with a 2.5-inch blade. But loving this one. Nice hollow grind. I think there's now that I've used the ceramic on it, it's got a bit of a sort of mini convex and drop point shape. Really just a classic slipper design. So wasn't the perfect grind or the perfect sharpness from the factory, but that was rectified with a bit of ceramic rods and perseverance. Very, very good hard steel, and I think that'll be very long lasting. The blade steel seems to be an excellent example of D2, and build quality, absolutely rock solid, bomb proof. Really couldn't be happier with it. So highly recommended. There you go. All the best.